Nigeria Info.
Good afternoon, it's Thursday, September 4, 2025. Mental health is real. Seek help and the stigma on the news this afternoon. Rivers University Teaching Hospital yet to speak days after death of medical doctor on duty. INEC to partner Identity Management Commission on voter registration processes. And on the foreign scene, death toll rises in Portugal train crash. I'm Ifechukwu Muonyili with the news. Now, the management of River State University Teaching Hospital is yet to speak days after a young medical doctor, Femi Rotifa, reportedly collapsed and died inside the call room. The late doctor was said to have worked for more than 72 hours as the doctor on duty. Before his death, he worked in the surgery unit of River State University Teaching Hospital. Our correspondent is yet to get any reply to her calls and WhatsApp messages sent to the Chief Medical Director, Professor Chizindo Aliko. Speaking on this, a medical doctor now based in the United Kingdom, Dr. Stephen Nyeche, says the late doctor was found unresponsive in one of the hospital rooms. He adds that a tertiary hospital like RSUTH should routinely provide health checkups for its workers. Dr. Nyeche further urged both tertiary and private hospitals in River State to ensure free routine medical checkups for their staff.
Are not healthy. How do you expect maximum productivity from the head force? Make sure that your staffs are healthy to withstand the pressure. These staffs cannot afford the investigation you even offer because you pay them peanuts. And then you expect the head force to move forward. These are the reasons why some of us left Nigeria. And I want to use this medium to appeal to River State University Teaching Hospital to see that all health care personnel, that they have routine checkup free.
Now let's take you back a bit and remind you that in September 2024, the now suspended River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara approved the employment of 2,000 medical personnel for the state. Governor Fubara said out of the number, 1,000 personnel would be engaged by the River State Health Management Board, while the other 1,000 will work for RSUTH. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Association for Resident Doctors says it is determined to embark on a nationwide strike on September 10 if the federal government and its relevant agencies fail to meet its demand. The president of NARD, Dr. Tope Osundara, disclosed this in an interview with journalists. He said the association met with the federal government on Monday, but the discussions yielded no positive outcome. Earlier this week, NARD issued a 10-day ultimatum to the relevant government agencies, warning that its members would commence strike action if their demands were not addressed. Turning to flood concerns now, former coordinator of the Ngeni Flood Disaster Response Organization, Dr. Enieta Abieba, is questioning the use of helicopters and gunboats during last week's flood simulation in Mbiama, Ahoda West. He argues the government may not actually deploy such resources when flood hit farmers and residents. He spoke to a correspondent, Onyeka Chinwosu.
The issue is that when the flood is full-blown, would there be opportunity for them to provide enough helicopters? Will they have the opportunity to provide enough gunboats to rescue the people? And we are aware that the flood attacks even farmers in the bush. The flood attacks even people who are wading through the water along the roads and process. Some communities are situated, in remote places. How could this demonstration be expanded enough to cover such victims?
Dr. Abieba also challenged claims by sole administrator retired Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas that IDP camps are being upgraded.
There is no IDP camp. Say this is provided by government for the purpose. It is discouraging for government to always be talking about IDP camp. I want to believe that if government is providing an IDP camp, they were supposed to publicize it. As far as I know, there is no IDP camp.
Now, he pointed out that displaced persons in Akinima still sleep in the town hall renovated by the former chairman, while victims in Mbiama take shelter in a community school. It might interest you to know that the Rivers State government, with NEMA, conducted the simulation exercise last week. During the visit of NEMA officials to Government House, the sole administrator also announced plans to desilt canals and drainages in Port Harcourt. But away from that, labor unions say they will engage the federal government over its planned 5% surcharge on fossil fuel products from January 2026. National Industrial Relations Officer of Pengasan, Dr. Eze Ifai, told our correspondent Suebi Oruware that the surcharge is aimed at boosting government revenue, not discouraging fuel use.
They have. So are you saying they shouldn't leave again? That excuse, I believe, is to make more money for the government, not for any discouragement. You know that any additional tax on the citizen now is not the best. As an organization, we will actually not support that for now because that is going to increase inflation. By then, there should be more engagement.
But oil and gas economist Kingsley Ebusen warned that the policy will indirectly raise living costs for Nigerians.
Before a government should come up with such policy, they should have an alternative. But currently in the country, we only rely on fossil fuel as most of our energy needs. This shows an inelastic demand for petroleum products. So this inelastic demand, once you impose tax, the incidence of taxation or the burden of taxation falls on the consumer. It's a policy which they did not research or which they are concealing the actual nature of their intention.
He urged the government to explore other ways of discouraging fossil fuel use before the law takes effect.
Best ways to reduce the consumption of petroleum products is like providing a constant source of domestic electricity. Once you do that, the issue of gallons and generator demand, plant demands would reduce drastically, and that's a good percentage of petroleum consumption. So I wonder why I think of increasing the cost, which would result to increasing the prices of goods and commodities.
I recall that under the new law, Nigerians will begin paying a 5% surcharge on fossil fuel sales, excluding renewable energy product, household kerosene, cooking gas, and compressed natural gas. Now, Rivers State Administrator, retired Vice Admiral Imokete Ebas, says his government is not only focused on roads and bridges, but also invested in building people. He made the point in Port Harcourt while declaring open a 30-day residential vanguard initiative on behavioral modification for youth. Vice Admiral Ebas says true development must reflect in human capital. He was represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Ibibia Lucky Warika.
This initiative is not just a program, it's a bold step. A movement and a commitment to shaping the future of Rivers State through the transformation of our young people. In Rivers State, our youths are like the strong tide of the river, full of power, full of energy. But just as our traditional canoe needs a paddle to move in the right direction, our young people also need guidance and discipline to channel their strength, their energy and resources for progress.
Professor Warika explained that the Vanguard Initiative was created to help young people build knowledge and character.
Behavioral modification is the bridge that takes us from a wasted potential to a fulfilled destiny. This training will teach you how to resist peer pressure, avoid violence, stay away from drugs, and embrace useful skills. We should at this juncture remember another proverb: the fish that refuses the net today may not escape the hook tomorrow. The choices you make now will certainly shape your tomorrow.
Also speaking, the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Youth Development, Mrs. Ruhoma Keje, said the behavioral modification training is designed to reorient youth before giving them hands-on skills. She asked that the ministry has introduced a new model, Train to Engage, to ensure every participant is not just trained, but also guided and supported to put their skills to use. To politics now. Abuja-based political scientist Simbo Olorufemi warns PDP leaders to avoid what he calls a legal trap by members loyal to FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. His comments follow threats by the PDP Governors Forum to deal with members working against the party's national convention. Olorufemi insists the party must compromise with the group to avoid fresh litigation.
All the way back to 2023, maybe if they had moved decisively since 2023, they will not be where they are today. I would think it is coming too late. They are left with no choice but to stand their ground. When we say it is coming late, what we mean is that eventually it might not serve them well in the end, them being able to achieve something substantial from the 2027 election. But what it means is that take action now, then they will be able to have firm control over the affairs of the party.
He also says threats against members will not bring any real results.
The court is going to come in because even the convention that we're talking about, it's quite possible that the wicked people will proceed to court and try and get an injunction that will stop the party from holding the convention. Once they take action against the wicked faction, those ones are likely going to proceed to court. It's a no-win situation for them. I think that might save them sometime. It let go and believe that they will have enough delegates from other parts of the country. Same way they made compromise by letting Damagum continue to hold on and letting Samaya continue to hold on as national secretary.
Well, we'll go on a short commercial break. When we return, we will tell you about what the Federal Competition and Consumer